Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is Warzone Jones coming right back at you with a different topic type of video. I'm going to be talking about this reality TV show called Black Ink Crew Chicago. It is a show on VH1. I don't normally talk about reality TV shows on this channel, but I figure I'll do it this one time. I'm not going to be doing too much of it ever again, promise you, but just this one time, especially since I'm such a big fan of it. But the reason why I want to talk about it is because like it's such a big topic between three individuals who are on this show, and I feel like most of the criticism goes towards this guy named Ryan. Ryan, who is the owner of Nine Mag, the tattoo shop. He's the owner. He's the guy who gets most of the criticism, and I definitely understand why. I'm not really taking anyone's side, by the way, and everything I'm going to say is just my opinion. But he gets most of the criticism. Matter of fact, I would dare say he gets all of the criticism. And the girl, Kat, who he cheated on his girl with, she basically gets none. And I don't think that is fair. So, although I understand why Ryan gets criticism, because he did definitely cheat on his girl, which is never ever a good thing, but don't act like Kat didn't do anything at all because she decided to have sex with Ryan. Oh yeah, she definitely did. But she made the situation worse to me. Like literally making it worse on purpose. And here's how. Here's a girl who's coming from LA. She decided she don't want to live in LA anymore. She wants to come back to Chicago and work back in a tattoo shop. So she wants to work back in Ryan's tattoo shop. Okay, but how do you make that situation better? How do you make your situation with him better by constantly throwing in his face what you did when you had sex with him? Like literally, she was constantly just throwing it in the man's face and going into the details of what they did when they had sex. She talked about how he gave her head, and then she brought up how she gave him head, and how she that she kissed him in the groin. Like just literally going into the details, just throwing it in his face. How do you think he's gonna take it? Of course he's not gonna take that well. You're pissing him off, and on top of that, you're doing that in front of a bunch of people who is in the shop. So she did that in front of just about all the cast members in the shop, and I'm pretty sure Ryan doesn't like that. Like come on, man. So Ryan is the guy who kind of has a temper problem. You can tell he lost his temper a lot in this season of the show. So when I see stuff like that, here's the girl who wants to work there, but she thinks she's going to make the situation better by constantly throwing things in his face of what they did when they had sex. Come on now, things ain't going to work out that way. I truly believe that what she thought was that she was going to come back there, they was going to have a couple of arguments, and then they was eventually going to settle the matter, shake hands, and become friends again, and then just move on. But that's not what had happened. So the last episode where everyone was in like this house, they was in this nice big house partying. Eventually, Ryan and Rachel gets there. Then Kat comes in later. Then they decide to talk about that situation, about the cheating. And what does she do? She loses her temper again. And now she's not only throwing it in Ryan's face, what they did when they had sex. Now she's throwing it in Rachel's face. You just made it even worse after that. So when she goes and says, Ryan, tell Rachel what you would have done had I not went back to LA. Basically what that meant was, Ryan, why don't you tell Rachel that you would be with me instead of her had I not went back to LA. You're taunting them. You're taunting both of them. So although Rachel is sitting up there with a calm demeanor, that it takes a whole lot of discipline not to just lose your temper in that situation, because you can tell she definitely didn't like it. She didn't just sit there completely and take it. Like she said things like, "Oh, this girl just looking for a storyline to stay relevant," and she also said, "You just can't be there any longer," which I definitely understand why, because you can't, because you're sitting up there trash talking. So when you're gonna do that again, how do you make your situation better by throwing you had sex with Ryan in Rachel's face and also in Ryan's face? You can't make it better. So I see Rachel, man, like she showed a whole lot of discipline and a whole lot of patience, and you don't normally see that from someone in a reality TV show, especially on VH1. You don't normally see that at all. But the end result was Ryan kicked her out of the shop and said that she can no longer be there. So at the end of the day, That's her fault because she handled that situation poorly. That's my opinion on that situation. She just made it worse. Now Ryan did make amends. He know he cheated, but he made amends with Rachel, the girl who he cheated on. I feel like he needs to make amends with her more than anyone in the shop, especially Kat. So, this is What's on Jones. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to my channel. I'm out. Deuce.